tell me what you're doing, come and turn around. 'Cause it's not just a figure of speech, you got me down on my knees. It's getting harder to breathe out.
Hello everyone, it's SakusaFav. I lied about this being the last episode. Next episode will be the last episode, and there will be lots of angst in this one, and in the next one be ready. Thank you guys for waiting. I love y'all stanky bugs. Disclaimer, I do not own any of the Haikyuu characters or art said. This is not how I view the Haikyuu characters. This is just for pure entertainment. Warning, language might not be suitable for audience under the age of 13. That's all I have to say. On to the video. Action. What the? Osamu Suna, what, where the fuck have y'all been? You guys missed a lot. And this isn't the worst of it, I think. Where have you guys been? Oh, Atsumu didn't tell you? What? What do you mean? Atsumu didn't tell us. Atsumu, what is Osamu talking about? We went to Sakusa's house and obliterated it. The TVs, the couches, the kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, every single inch of his house. And in doing that, you wouldn't believe the shit I've found. Wait, hold up, what? Period. Sugawara took his phone out when it buzzed. He saw that Daichi was calling him. He hesitated. He didn't know whether he should answer or not. Sugawara let out a breath, frustration bubbling beneath the surface. Just as he began to relax, his phone buzzed again. Daichi was calling, relentlessly, one call after another. Sugawara let out a heavy sigh, sinking deeper into this car seat. He stared blankly at the road ahead of him, trying to block out the stress of the day. Come on, Daichi, Sugawara muttered under his breath, his tone teetering between guilt and annoyance. He silenced the call, hoping it would stop, but it didn't. The phone buzzed again, and again. By the fifth call, Sugawara groaned and snatched the phone. Swiping to answer, he pressed it to his ear, his voice sharp. What? Suga? Daichi's voice boomed through the speaker, a mix of worry and exasperation. Why the fuck didn't you pick up? I've been calling you for 15 minutes. Sugawara frowned, suddenly feeling a pang of guilt. I was trying to get a break, Daichi. It's been a rough day. A rough day. Daichi shot back. You think I don't know that? You weren't answering, so I thought something happened. Sugawara froze. I'm sorry, Sugawara admitted after a pause. I didn't mean to worry you. I just needed some quiet for a while. Daichi's heavy sigh came through the line, and Sugawara could almost picture him running a hand through his hair. I get it, Suga, but I don't at the same time. 'Cause you ran so fast like your Captain Save-A-Ho. Sugawara was speechless. Captain Save-A-Ho, really? You fucking know how long me and Oikawa have been friends, and you're fucking impossible. Just because you guys are friends don't mean that what him and Iwazumi got going on is your business. Daichi retorted, his voice rise. I just don't get why you like Oikawa so much. You got me thinking you're fucking him or something. I am, and what about it? Sugawara replied, his tone of voice had a nasty sound. What did you just fucking say? There was a pause. Sugawara's voice came out cold and sharp. I'm fucking Oikawa, he admitted, the words hanging in the air like a grenade about to explode. Daichi's voice boomed through the speaker, laced with anger. Sugawara, I will fuck you up. Sugawara flinched, pulling the phone slightly away from his ear, the intensity of Daichi's tone catching him off guard. Sugawara then hangs up the phone. Period. Daichi stared at the phone in stunned silence, his breath caught in his chest. Slowly, he placed it down on the table, his movements stiff and deliberate. Then, he buried his face in his hands, the weight of the admission crashing down on him like a tidal wave. Daichi sat there for what felt like an eternity, his hands covering his face as his thoughts spiraled out of control. The usually steady rhythm of his breathing was uneven, almost panicked. 1,000 questions ran through his mind, each one more painful than the last. How long had this been going on? Why Oikawa of all people? Was this my fault? His chest tightened as memories began to surface, moments with Sugawara that now seemed tainted. The way Sugawara had been distant lately, the late-night messages he claimed were just teammates, and the sudden excuses to leave early or stay out late. Daichi had brushed it off, trusting him, believing him. He slammed a fist down on the table, the sharp sound echoing through the empty room. The pain in his hand was nothing compared to the ache in his heart. He glanced at the phone again, as if staring at it would somehow bring answers. Anger, betrayal, and heartbreak warred inside him, each emotion pulling him in a different direction. He wanted to call Sugawara back and demand an explanation, but another part of him knew he wouldn't be able to handle whatever excuse Sugawara might throw his way. Instead, Daichi stood abruptly, the chair screeching against the floor as he pushed it back. He grabbed his jacket and stormed out of the apartment, the cool night air hitting his face like a slap. His feet carried him aimlessly through the streets, his mind replaying Sugawara's words over and over. I'm fucking Oikawa. The bluntness of the confession twisted like a knife in his chest. He clenched his fists, his nails digging into his palms as he tried to ground himself. He didn't know what hurt more, the betrayal itself, or the fact that despite it all, he still cared about Sugawara. Oikawa was a sobbing mess. Iwazumi's hand holding the gun trembled, but this time it wasn't anger or guilt, it was fear. Fear of what he had done, fear of what he might do next. Oikawa, stop. Iwazumi's voice cracked, but Oikawa wasn't listening anymore. I should have never trusted you. Oikawa snarled, his voice dripping with fury as he strained harder, his wrists bleeding now, but he didn't care. He just needed to be free, needed to get out of this moment, this nightmare. You think this is love? This is control. You never wanted to fix us, you just wanted to control me, just like you've always tried. Iwazumi's face twisted in pain, the accusations cutting deep. He stepped forward as if to stop Oikawa's frantic movements, but he hesitated, the gun still shaking in his grip. Iwazumi's heart ached as he listened to Oikawa's words, his pain and anger resonating in him. He took a step closer, but something held him back, making him second-guess everything. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up. Iwazumi's voice cracks as he tries to regain some control over the situation, but his desperation to silence Oikawa's accusations is palpable. He repeats the words, his tone becoming more desperate and strained with each repetition. What the fuck? Shut up, shut the fuck up, okay? Iwazumi paces back and forth, the gun in his hand shaking uncontrollably. He tries to catch his breath, his mind racing as he struggles to make a decision. Oikawa's eyes follow him in disbelief. Iwazumi whispered, his grip on the gun tightening, the metal cold in his hands. His pacing grew more erratic, his breaths shallow. He wanted to make Oikawa stop, to force him to see things his way.
I never would have thought that feelings could get thrown in the air, 'cause I accidentally caught that. Need some new boxing gloves. Shit got hectic whenever I fought back. For example, 10 minutes can't go past without you brushing my thoughts. That's 1440 a day, so I'll say 144 times a
Period. He looks insane. He looks crazy in love. Damn, Oikawa got him so obsessed to the point he wants to kidnap him. Why the hell did he count how many times he thought about him? I don't like where this is going. Cause Iwazumi is ill, he needs help. Period. Iwazumi's chest heaved with erratic breaths, his eyes wild and unfocused, as if he was caught between desperation and rage.
Think about you or something like that. Lost match. The fucking thought of you with somebody else, I don't like that. Cellular convos get left in the wrong, 'cause I get so fucking mad when you don't write back. This isn't a song, I just happen to rhyme when I get emo and find time to write facts. I love you.
Period. I'm logging off, I can't watch this. He's actually insane. WTF. I understand Iwazumi loves him, but this isn't love at all. This shit is just controlling and he's so possessive. Period. His face was a twisted mixture of anguish and fury, his jaw clenched so tightly it looked like it might snap, his eyes darted toward Oikawa, tied to the chair, struggling against the bindings.
I fucking hate you, but I love you. I'm bad at keeping my emotions bubbled. You're good at being perfect, we're good at being troubled. Yeah. I fucking hate you, but I love you. I'm bad at keeping my emotions bubbled. You're good at being perfect, we're good at being troubled. Yeah.
I will never understand how can you do that to someone you claim to love. This shit is wild to me too. You can't hate but love someone at the same time. You can, but it turns toxic. Period. Iwazumi's entire body was a live wire of tension, shaking with an energy he couldn't control.
You fucking with my emotions? The fuck is all this noise about? I even consider picking up smoking. You turn to a bitch, you let the dogs out. But in my dog house, my bitch is the raddest. Crazy who makes me the happiest can make me the saddest.
He ran a trembling hand through his hair, tugging at the strands as if trying to claw his way out of his own head. His lips curled into a snarl, but his face betrayed something deeper, anguish, heartbreak, and the sheer weight of losing control over everything he held dear. Period. Private messages between Hinata and Kageyama. Hinata, please, I can't calm him down. Kageyama, no. I under that you knew him since middle school and that is someone you look up to. But no, I don't want you to get hurt. Hinata, please. No, Kageyama. Please, Hinata. No, Kageyama, I love you and I want to keep you safe, so no. If you go we are breaking up. It's too dangerous. But I know where he is. And so what? What are you going to do? I can talk to him, he'll listen to me. Kageyama, no. Fine, I love you and I understand you wanna help but not no. I love you too. Period.
Look, Alice, let's get lost in your wonderland. Fucking Atlas, you're perfectly perfect for me. What the fuck is this practice? Actually, if you even consider leaving, I lose a couple screws in due time, I'll stop breathing. And you'll see the meaning of stalking when I pop out the dark to find you.
Period. On other level fucked up. All because Oikawa cheated back. Are you serious? We lost Tenda and Ushijima, and now we losing we childhood sweethearts. Something isn't adding up here. Atsumu, I heard you're getting beat on. Atsumu left the chat. Period.
And that new dude that you're seeing with an attitude that proceed to fuck up your evenings. Make sure you never meet again like goddamn vegans. Cause when I hear your name, I cannot stop cheesing. I love you so much that my heart stops beating when you leave, and then I grieve and then my heart starts bleeding.
The more unhinged he became, his chest heaved, and he slammed his free hand against the wall, the sharp crack echoing through the room. Period. Osamu add Atsumu back to Tay chat. Atsumu, you're my brother and I love you. But this shit you have to tell them. You have to tell me. Period. Iwazumi's gaze softened for a split, almost pleading, before hardening again.
Life without you has no goddamn meaning. Sorry, I'm passive aggressive for no goddamn reason. It's that my mood changed like these goddamn seasons. I fall for you, but I love you.
Then what the hell are you talking about? Iwazumi, Oikawa spat, his voice low and venomous. Because all I see is you, standing there with a gun in your hand, trying to keep me here by force. You say you love me, but this is just madness. Iwazumi's face crumbled at Oikawa's words, the gun slipping from his hand and clattering to the floor with a sharp, metallic thud. His hands went to his face, his body shaking as the tears came again, uncontrollable. He had lost control of everything, the situation, his emotions. Oikawa, I'm sorry, he whispered, but Oikawa's anger was still burning too hot, too deep to hear it.
Come on, baby. Even though I hate you, I still love you. I love you. Oh, Salem, I know. I'm passive aggressive.
I'm sorry. Fuck. Come here.
I'm like when we hold hands.
You're the best around.
Period. Look what's happening to Oikawa. Do you really wanna say SMTH now? Sure. But at least Oikawa has the guts to stand up to Iwazumi. But looks where standing up for yourself fucking gets you. He's wasting Oikawa's life away. You don't have to do what Oikawa did, you can just leave. I fucking can't leave him and you know fucking why, so shut the fuck up. Period. But something inside him snapped at Iwazumi's last confession, the idea that they were beyond saving, that after everything, Iwazumi was ready to give up.
See, I get jealous. Oh, when if I see that nigga, I just might kill him.
Look, I want to strangle you until you stop breathing. Spend the rest of my life looking for air, so you could breathe, or we could die together, you and me. Fuck. Look,
I'm in love.
fucking hate you, but I love you. I'm bad at keeping my emotions bubbled. We're good at being perfect. We're good at being
I pray for everyone that's going through a though time in their relationship. I really hope Oikawa is safe. We really can't do shit but to wait. But Atsumu, what were you saying about you not being able to leave Sakusa? Messy GCF 17 Sakuatsu Part 1 TBC, coming soon. Live ends. Period. You think this is how it ends? You think we just fall apart like this? Oikawa screamed, his voice hoarse, fury boiling in his chest. After everything we've been through, you think it's over? Iwazumi flinched at Oikawa's outburst, his tear-streaked face twisting with shock and confusion. Oikawa, stop. What are you doing? His voice wavered, torn between guilt and fear as he watched Oikawa's desperate struggle. But Oikawa didn't stop. He continued to thrash and pull, his entire body shaking with the effort, the bindings digging painfully into his wrists and ankles. His eyes were wild, filled with the raw emotion that had been pent up for so long. His vision blurred with tears of frustration, but he didn't care. Iwazumi, Oikawa whispered, fear lacing his voice as he watched the man in front of him unravel. Iwazumi's face twisted with an expression Oikawa had never seen before, an unfiltered anguish that made his chest tighten. Tears welled in his eyes, and his whole body seemed to quake under the pressure of emotions he had been bottling up for far too long. His shoulders began to shake uncontrollably, and a guttural sob ripped from his throat, raw and broken. I tried, Oikawa. He choked, his voice trembling as his grip on the gun loosened but didn't fall. His knuckles were still white, and tears streamed down his face in jagged lines. I tried to be enough for you. I thought I was doing everything right, but you. Iwazumi's body convulsed with a mixture of rage and heartbreak, his tears now flowing freely. His entire frame seemed to shrink under the weight of his guilt and confusion, as if he couldn't contain the conflicting emotions any longer. You cheated, Iwazumi cried, his voice cracking with pain. You didn't even tell me. You just left me in the dark. I wasn't enough for you, and now I don't know what to do. Oikawa. He slammed a fist into the wall, the impact reverberating through the room. I don't know how to fix this. Oikawa felt a lump form in his throat. He had never seen Iwazumi like this, completely undone, shaking with the force of emotions he'd always hidden beneath his tough, composed exterior. Iwazumi had been the rock for everyone, always dependable, always strong, but now he was falling apart, his mind unraveling in front of Oikawa's eyes, and it was terrifying. Iwazumi, Oikawa's voice was soft, hesitant, as he tried to reach through the madness. Please, let me go. Let's talk. We can still fix this. Iwazumi shook his head violently, his tears blurring his vision. How do we fix something that's already broken? I thought I could protect you. I thought I could make things right by keeping you close, by doing this. He gestured wildly with the gun, the desperation in his movements making Oikawa flinch. But nothing's working. It's too late, isn't it? His body convulsed with sobs now, shaking so badly that the gun nearly slipped from his grasp. He pressed the back of his free hand to his face, as though trying to stop the tears, but they wouldn't stop. His entire body trembled, shoulders heaving as the weight of everything came crashing down on him. Oikawa's heart ached, his fear momentarily pushed aside by the sheer sight of Iwazumi falling apart. The man who had always been so strong, so put together, was breaking in front of him, and it wasn't the gun that scared Oikawa the most, it was the fact that he might lose Iwazumi to this spiral. You haven't lost me, Oikawa said softly, his voice shaky but sincere. I'm still here, Iwa-chan, we're both still here, but you have to let this go. Iwazumi's eyes, red and filled with tears, met Oikawa's. His face was twisted in anguish, his breath coming in ragged, uneven gasps. He looked lost, completely and utterly lost. He lowered the gun slightly, but his hands were still trembling violently, as if the weight of everything was crashing down on him all at once. I don't know how, he whispered, his voice barely audible, choked with tears. I don't know how to let it go, Oikawa. I don't know how to stop feeling like this. Oikawa's chest tightened, his own eyes stinging with unshed tears. He wished he could reach out, wished he could take away the pain that was consuming Iwazumi, but the ropes bound him in place, leaving him helpless. Still, he spoke, his voice tender despite the chaos around them. We'll figure it out, Oikawa whispered, trying to calm the storm in Iwazumi's heart. But you're not alone in this. Just, please, put the gun down. We can't fix anything like this. Iwazumi stared at Oikawa, his breath hitching, his body shaking uncontrollably as the flood of emotions continued to wash over him. His grip on the gun faltered, and for a moment, it seemed like he was teetering on the edge, between letting go of the rage and grief that had consumed him, or falling deeper into the darkness. And in that moment, Oikawa could only hold his breath, hoping Iwazumi would choose to let go. Iwazumi's voice cracked as he spoke, his hand shaking uncontrollably, still clutching the gun. His eyes were swollen from tears, a storm of emotions flickering behind them. He stared down at Oikawa, his breath uneven as if he couldn't quite get enough air. He let out a bitter, trembling laugh, wiping at the tears streaming down his face with the back of his hand, though they didn't stop. I always thought we were strong, you and me. No one could break us, right? We'd fight, we'd yell, but we'd always come back. But this, his voice faltered, and he glanced at the gun in his hand with a mix of disbelief and horror. This is different. We're not coming back from this, are we? Oikawa, still tied up, could only watch Iwazumi unravel in front of him, the depth of his pain bleeding through every word. His heart ached seeing Iwazumi like this, so broken, so lost. He wanted to reach out, to tell him it wasn't too late, but the weight of everything between them made the words stick in his throat. We could have talked. Iwazumi continued, almost to himself, his voice shaking. We could have fixed this before it got so bad, but now I'm standing here with a gun in my hand, like some kind of idiot who lost his way. He looked back at Oikawa, tears blurring his vision. I loved you, I still do, but I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to make things right after everything we've done to each other. It's like we threw everything up in the air, and now, I'm watching it all come crashing down. The silence that followed felt suffocating, as if the very air between them had become thick with the weight of everything unsaid, everything that had gone wrong. Iwa-chan, Oikawa began, his voice soft, almost pleading. We can still try. It's not too late. I know I hurt you, and you're hurting me now. But, the shattering of glass pierced through the heavy silence like a gunshot, making both of them flinch. Iwazumi froze, his grip tightening on the gun as his head snapped toward the sound. His wild eyes darted to the broken window, shards glinting on the floor like tiny daggers. What the hell was that? He muttered, his voice low and tense. For a moment, the room seemed to shrink, his paranoia spiraling as he scanned the shadows beyond the jagged glass. Oikawa seized the distraction, his heart pounding in his chest. He couldn't waste this moment. Flexing his wrists, ignoring the pain from the rope cutting into his skin, he struggled harder against the bindings. The sight of Iwazumi, armed, unstable, and unraveling, had terrified him, but now adrenaline surged through his veins. He needed to act, to find some way out before things spiraled further. Iwazumi took a hesitant step toward the window, his movements slow and calculated. The gun trembled in his hand as he approached, peering outside into the dark. The faint rustle of leaves in the cool night air seeped in, chilling the room. He squinted, searching for a figure, a sign of movement, anything that might explain the sudden noise. Who's there? He barked, his voice cracking as he raised the gun, aiming it into the darkness. Behind him, Oikawa gritted his teeth and tugged harder at the ropes binding him. His wrists burned, and blood smeared the ropes and his skin, but he didn't stop. He glanced toward the shattered glass, his mind racing. Was it a rescue? Someone trying to help? Or just an accident that had given him a chance he couldn't afford to waste? Iwazumi's breathing grew heavier, his shoulders stiff as he stared out the window. The wind picked up, rustling the trees outside, but there was no immediate sign of anyone. His grip on the gun faltered for a second, doubt creeping in. Damn it, he muttered under his breath, stepping back from the window. Suddenly, a loud creak from the hallway outside made him spin on his heel, his gun snapping to the doorway. No, 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 he whispered, panic overtaking him. Someone was here. Someone was coming for them. Oikawa froze, his eyes darting to the door. His heart raced. If someone was here, he had to get their attention. Summoning every ounce of courage, he shouted, "Help me." His voice rang out, raw and desperate. "Shut up," Iwazumi roared, whipping around to face him, the gun now pointed directly at Oikawa. His face twisted in anguish and fury, and his hand trembled violently. Don't make this worse. But it was too late. Heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway, growing louder, more determined. Iwazumi's panic deepened, his eyes darting between Oikawa and the doorway. His breathing became ragged, his mind clearly spinning out of control. Oikawa's heart leapt as the door burst open, a figure stepping inside. The harsh beam of a flashlight cut through the room, landing on Iwazumi. "Drop the weapon," a firm, commanding voice ordered. Iwazumi recognized that voice. It was
fucking hate you, but I love you. I'm bad at keeping my emotions bubbled. You're good at being perfect, yo.
I'm popping in to say that I want to give a big thanks to this person right here. They really helped me interpret what I want to do with this season and what I'm going to do for next season. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and see you in the next episode. Bye!